people might be forgiven for thinking that it's just the Labour Party who are having an election to its leadership. Because in the midst of all the excitement about Jeremy Corbyn, who, by the way, I desperately hope is going to win the Labour leadership election, the Green Party is also electing its own leadership team, and that's the party's executive committee. And I'm one of the candidates, and I'm standing for the post of local party coordinator. And I've made this short video to say why I'm standing. I guess the best place to start is by saying that I'm a green socialist, and I'm passionate about protecting our environment and sustainable development that won't damage our planet and screw things up for future generations of humans, animals and plants. I'm also passionate about social justice and fairness and equality, and it's the massive gap between the richest and the poorest on our planet, the brutal exploitation of weaker nations by the powerful, the endemic mistreatment of people because of their poverty, their class, their gender identification, sexuality, race, age and disability. All these massive injustices are the very things that got me involved in politics in the first place, and that's why I'm here making this video now. And of course there's the absolutely brutal way that we treat the other animals with whom we share this world, and that again is a thing that's easily forgotten about, and these are the things I've been campaigning about for virtually all my adult life. And I've been doing this for much longer than I dare remember. I was an active trade unionist for many years. I was a shop steward, a union branch secretary, and I also ended up being a member of my trade union, which in those days was NUPE, the National Executive Committee. I also used to be a member of the Labour Party for many years. And I've been a Labour councillor in London and also here in Thanet, East Kent, where I live. I left the Labour Party in 2012. I joined the Green Party in 2013, and I was a Green councillor on Thanet District Council until the May elections this year. I also stood as the Green Party's parliamentary candidate in South Thanet, which of course was notorious as a constituency where Nigel Farage unsuccessfully, thank goodness, tried to be elected. We, the Green Party, polled 1,079 votes, which, considering the extensive tactical voting which took place to keep Farage out, I don't think we did too bad at all. I've been campaigning locally for about 5 years to stop the brutal export of live farm animals from the port of Ramsgate for slaughter in Europe. I've been campaigning against the danger of fracking and the extraction of coal bed methane gas in East Kent. I've also been campaigning to prevent the polluting industrial developments been located next to protected marine sites in Ramsgate, and trying desperately hard to stop Thanet Council from granting planning permission to build over 6,000 homes on greenfield sites when there's plenty of brownfield sites to be developed in Thanet. More recently I've begun working with community activists and Green Party and Left Labour colleagues through the People's Assembly to highlight the implications of the massive need for social housing in Thanet, the implications of benefit sanctioning, cuts in benefits and tax credits for one of the most deprived areas of southeast England. And I hope really that working in this way, we're going to be able to develop and grow a major anti-austerity network here in Kent. I'm also very passionate about openness, transparency and accountability in local and central government. I was one of the campaigners who was fighting the council, Thanet Council, to allow filming of council meetings. The council actually resisted right up until the day that the filming of council meetings became lawful. And I think myself and several members of the public must have been tossed out of at least half a dozen council meetings once we got our camcorders out and tried to hold elected councillors to a public account. And I've got the rather dubious honour, if that's a word, of being the only elected councillor in legal history to have a High Court gagging order served against me by the council I was elected to run, which prevents me from releasing documents in my possession in the public interest. So that's a little bit about my political background. Now I'll say a few words about the executive election, and I guess the first thing to say is that I joined the Green Party not only because its policies and its vision are similar to my own beliefs and vision, but because the Green Party is a very ethical organisation full of a lot of compassionate people with strong morals and principles. And I think for a political organisation, this is a very unusual culture. And certainly I want to play my role in the party to develop and grow this ethos, which actually I think is a very modern approach to politics, and it's becoming a much more attractive way of doing politics to people who have spent years becoming more and more disillusioned by the self-serving careerist politicians who have been bought and sold by corporate lobbyists and who quite frankly put their own greed and interests before those of the constituents. And I think that the Jeremy Corbyn campaign demonstrates that people are now beginning to want politics which are firmly based on vision, principles and compassion. And this is precisely what the Green Party does well, and it's a quality that I want to spend time developing and growing in order to strengthen the Green Party and its influence. Looking at the post I'm standing for, it's the local party development coordinator. And I'm standing for this position because I think it's a role which is very much key to the future of the Green Party. It's the local parties who, through campaigning and activism on local issues, raise the profile of the Green Party, recruit more members, build respect and credibility for Green Party policies and ideas amongst local people and local communities. And it's this respect and credibility which builds electoral support at parish, town, district and county elections and ultimately, of course, Westminster elections. And this is precisely the activity that the Labour Party has neglected and forgotten about, and this is why it's collapsed in Scotland and why it's floundering in this country as well. So I'm standing to support local parties and to help them to become campaigning organisations who engage with their local community and community activists and organisations on a broad range of issues, and in doing that develop a high profile and respect for the Green Party at a local level. But to do that campaign, you need the tools to do the job, and this means looking at the level of financial resources which can be invested into local parties to help fund their campaigning activities. It also means looking at training in campaigning and media work, and using social media like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, blog sites, crowdfunding and so on to become more effective. One of the other issues which I think is very important in terms of local branch development is my belief that Green should be taking the lead in working in partnership with other progressive left of centre organisations across a range of environmental and social justice issues such as fracking, protecting greenfields from development, the demonisation of migrants, benefit cuts, social housing shortages and so on. And I know that many local parties are already doing this, but we do need to encourage the development of working outside of and across the traditional party divides, because the idea of political parties, I am beginning to believe, is becoming a bit old-fashioned, very limiting, and to a degree self-destructive, with its tribalism, its point scoring, its unquestioning loyalty to the party bosses, and the intense competition that goes with that. So I'm just saying that to build the Green Party, I think we need to be out there working more cooperatively than other organisations, with the Labour left, the trade unions, the non-Labour left, and even the Lib Dems, to build a credible political alternative based on anti-austerity, social justice and effective environmental policy. Anyway, that's about all I've got to say about my politics and why I'm standing for the executive. But I'm not a total political anorak. I'm married with 3 daughters, 2 of whom have got learning disabilities. I gave up work a couple of years to become a carer for one of my daughters, and I guess I've got pretty run-of-the-mill average types of interests. I love music, I like to drink beer now and again, eat curry, and I love most of all hanging out with my family and friends. And those are the things that are at the top of my list. I'm also learning to play the guitar pretty badly, I hasten to say, and to DJ. And I've got some awesome playlists developed. I'm just about learning how to use my equipment properly, so I'm hoping that I might get some gigs in the near future, and try to encourage the people of Thanet to get off their arses, onto their feet, and strut their funky stuff. So I hope what I've said has been of interest to you. My contact details follow after this video, and please feel free to get in touch if you've got any questions or issues you want to raise with me. Bye.